Jump right into this. So let's welcome in President at Walser Wealth Management, Rebecca Walser, and Adjunct Professor at Montclair State University, Dan Geltrude. Good morning to both of you. Thank you so much. And Rebecca, you're here in studio. I'm going to start with you. First of all, thanks for being with us in studio at Wake Up America Weekend. Inflation. All right. Right now it sits at 2.9, but we do know that's cumulative. So that's on top of where it's been. It's among the lowest numbers we've seen, though, under this administration. So obviously the rate of inflation has slowed down a little, but it's still twice what it was when they took office, meaning Biden-Harris. What do you make of her just blaming Trump for the state of the economy? Because it was 1.4% when he turned over the reins to the White House.
It's frustrating because if you have somebody who's running, who's currently in the current administration, and they're already saying it's the previous administration, it's their fault, then what's going to make them not say in 4 more years, oh, it's still Trump's fault? It's what he did with the pandemic. That's a decade-long adjustment that we had to make, and it's going to have multiple economies to work through. So this is unacceptable that someone who's running for the highest office in the land refuses to take any personal accountability for the fact that they are the number 2 on the current administration, and the buck stops with them. So I don't want to vote for anyone who basically tells me I don't have any control, but vote for me anyways.
Yeah, really good point. Why would you vote for someone who can't fix the problem themselves?
They can make it. She was the deciding vote on 2 major spending bills that added to inflation. So there is that. Just saying.
Dan, look, a YouGov poll shows that 56% of Americans say they prefer Trump to Kamala when it comes to fixing the economy, and 61% said that they trust him more on inflation. So why do you think so many voters are preferring Trump? Look, we know the reason why, but let's just talk about it, why they do prefer Trump on these issues.
We are in a very unique situation for this election where we have 2 people that have already been there and done it. So now there's a clear record. It's not about what they say they're going to do. You simply look back and say, what did you do? And if people are preferring Donald Trump, it's based upon the record. Again, this is such a great situation for voters to be able to compare 2 people in what they've already done. So I think when everything comes out here, people will decide based upon those records.
Yeah. Well, they do say people vote with their pockets and pocketbooks. So bash, but she also mentioned mortgage rates are rising under Biden and obviously Biden-Harris, which now sit at 6.35. They were at less than 3% when Biden stepped into office. Now, we've seen the Federal Reserve maintain record high interest rates all year due to the administration's, basically, I would say, their failure to bring down inflation down to its targeted 2%. So, Rebecca, young people, they're waiting. They're not able to buy a home right now. What do you think? How does that impact the election? Because, again, I do think those are the types of things that make people scratch their head. And even if they don't like Donald Trump, they say, yeah, but he can handle the economy better.
You know, it's awful because really we have the highest amount of millennials living at home with their parents than we've ever had in the history of our nation. And really, generationally, the fact that you have that many people on the next generation still living at home is a problem. Where are the homes going to be bought? Where are the people having houses? We need babies to be born in this country. Our birth rate is too low. We're not replacing ourselves. We've got a lot of issues that need real serious conversations, and interest rates and home ownership and the affordability of that is one of the most important things for any society.
Can I read between the lines there? I think Rebecca just said, for the guys out there still living in your mom's basement, you're not going to have babies. You read between the lines. That's what I'm hearing. And I agree, for the record. I do agree with that. What do you think, Sarah?
Oh, no comment.
No comment.
As a millennial who doesn't have a baby.
Oh, you had to throw that in there.
Yeah.
Millennial. Yeah, the old guy. I got it.
Look, Dan, a Fed note from this month, right? It's showing the central bank is likely to prematurely cut rates in the meetings next month. Do you think this decision is at all meant to help Harris just before the election? Because that is what some people...
myself included.
As Michael, maybe.
Yeah, and I've been saying it for a while. I said it a year ago. They will cut rates right before the election as a gimmick.
He did.
Go ahead, take it away.
Jerome Powell certainly has opened himself up to criticism based upon the timing. He has been late to the party over and over again. So does it look suspect? Of course it does. Now, the question is, how much impact will this actually have on the election? I think it's too late where it's going to have an impact on the economy before everyone gets a chance to vote. However, it could absolutely impact the stock market. And the stock market is always making headlines. So if there's going to be a lowering of interest rates and the stock market starts going up, that allows Kamala Harris to turn around and say, see, it's working. Look at your 401ks. Value is going up. But that really shouldn't be the way it is. Those decisions by the Fed are supposed to be nonpartisan, and based upon what he's doing, he's opened himself up for a lot of people to say this is all political, and we can't be messing with the financial system in that way.
It's all politics all the time out of this administration, and I think even if they lower the interest rates, the stock market's already started to bake that in, so I'm not sure we'll see a huge jump. That's just my take on it. Dan, Rebecca, great having you on. We really do appreciate your insight. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, coming up, recent polling.